Hey Mike, I've heard great things about this place. The menu looks amazing. I'm what you might call a foodie. I absolutely love exploring different cuisines.
A foodie? What exactly does that mean, Sarah?
Oh, a foodie is someone who's really passionate about food and enjoys trying different types of cuisine. We tend to get excited about new restaurants and love learning about different cooking techniques. Speaking of which, what's your go-to dish when trying a new restaurant?
Go-to dish? I'm not familiar with that expression.
A go-to dish is basically your favorite or most reliable choice, something you typically order when you're not sure what else to get. For me, it's usually pasta dishes. I'm a sucker for a good carbonara.
You're a sucker for carbonara? That's an interesting way to put it.
Ah, yes, when you say you're a sucker for something, it means you really like it and can't resist it. What about you? What kinds of food make your mouth water?
Make my mouth water? Is that like feeling hungry?
Exactly. When something makes your mouth water, it means the food looks or sounds so delicious that you start salivating. Like when I smell freshly baked bread, my mouth instantly waters.
I see. Well, I'm pretty traditional in my tastes. I usually stick to comfort food.
Oh, tell me more about what comfort food means to you. Everyone seems to have their own definition.
For me, comfort food is anything that reminds me of home cooking, like my mom's meatloaf or mac and cheese. It's the kind of food that hits the spot when you're feeling down.
Hits the spot? That's another great food expression. Could you explain what that means?
Sure, when food hits the spot, it means it satisfies you perfectly exactly what you were craving. Like when you're really hungry and get exactly what you wanted to eat.
I love learning these expressions. You know, I've been trying to broaden my horizons when it comes to food lately.
Broaden your horizons. What do you mean by that?
To broaden your horizons means to try new things and expand your experiences. In terms of food, it means I'm trying cuisines I've never had before. Last week, I tried Ethiopian food for the first time. It was to die for.
To die for? That sounds extreme.
Oh, it's just another way of saying something is extremely delicious or amazing. When food is to die for, it means it's incredibly good. Have you ever tried any exotic cuisines?
Exotic cuisines? You mean like unusual or foreign foods?
Yes, exactly. Exotic cuisines are dishes from different cultures that might be unfamiliar or unusual to us. For instance, have you ever tried sushi?
Actually, I'm not really into raw fish. I tend to play it safe with my food choices.
Ah, play it safe. That's a good expression. Could you explain what you mean by that?
Sure. When you play it safe, it means you stick to what you know and avoid taking risks. In terms of food, it means I usually order dishes I'm familiar with rather than trying something new.
I see. You know, I used to be like that, but then I decided to step out of my comfort zone.
Step out of your comfort zone. Is that similar to broadening your horizons?
Yes, they're related. To step out of your comfort zone means to try something new that might make you slightly uncomfortable at first. It could be trying spicy food when you usually eat mild dishes, for example.
Speaking of spicy food, I can't handle heat. It's just not my cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea. That's an interesting phrase. What does it mean exactly?
When something is not your cup of tea, it means you don't particularly like or enjoy it. It's a polite way of saying you don't care for something.
Got it. You know, this menu has so many options, I'm having trouble making up my mind. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
A kid in a candy store? That's a fun expression.
Yes. Being like a kid in a candy store means you're extremely excited about all the choices available, almost overwhelmed with excitement. It's how I feel whenever I try a new restaurant.
I can tell you're really passionate about food. Me, I usually just grab a bite to eat without thinking too much about it.
Grab a bite to eat. Could you explain that casual expression?
Sure. To grab a bite to eat means to get something to eat quickly or casually. It's less formal than saying having a meal or dining out.
These menu prices seem pretty reasonable. Sometimes when I try new restaurants, they cost an arm and a leg.
Cost an arm and a leg. That sounds painful.
When something costs an arm and a leg, it means it's very expensive. It's just a colorful way of saying something costs a lot of money.
You really know your food expressions. I'm starting to feel hungry as a horse, looking at all these options.
Hungry as a horse. I love that expression. What does it mean exactly?
It means to be extremely hungry. Horses eat a lot, so when someone says they're hungry as a horse, they're saying they're very hungry.
Oh, look, they have daily specials. I always think the chef's special is the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop? What does that mean?
The cream of the crop means the best of something. When it comes to restaurant menus, the chef's special is often their best or most proud creation.
Well, I might stick to my usual order. Better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry. Could you explain that phrase?
It means it's better to be cautious than to take a risk and regret it later. In this case, I'd rather order something I know I'll enjoy than try something new and possibly not like it.
That makes sense, but sometimes the best dishes are diamond in the rough.
Diamond in the rough? What's that mean?
A diamond in the rough is something that might not look impressive at first, but turns out to be really special, like when you try a dish that doesn't sound amazing on the menu, but ends up being delicious.
You know what? Maybe I should take your advice and be more adventurous. This menu has some dishes that sound like they're out of this world.
Out of this world. That's another great expression. Want to guess what it means?
Does it mean something is really amazing or extraordinary?
Exactly. When something is out of this world, it means it's exceptionally good or amazing. I love using that phrase to describe incredible meals.
Look at this seafood platter. It costs a pretty penny.
Oh, costs a pretty penny. That's similar to what we discussed earlier about arm and leg. Could you explain this one?
Sure, when something costs a pretty penny, it means it's expensive. It's just another way of saying something is pricey.
These portion sizes look generous. Definitely enough to feed an army.
Feed an army? Is that like having a lot of food?
Yes. When you say something could feed an army, it means there's enough food to feed a large number of people. It's a way of saying the portion size is very big.
I notice you keep talking about different cuisines. Are you someone who lives to eat or eats to live?
That's an interesting distinction. Could you explain what you mean by those phrases?
Well, someone who lives to eat really enjoys food and makes it a big part of their life, while someone who eats to live just sees food as necessary fuel and doesn't get too excited about it.
Oh, I definitely live to eat. I'm always thinking about my next meal. Speaking of which, this appetizer section looks like it's right up my alley.
Right up my alley? What does that mean?
When something is right up your alley, it means it's exactly what you like or what interests you. It's perfect for your tastes or preferences.
I see. You know, all this food talk is making me eat like a bird less and less.
Eat like a bird? That's a new one for me.
When someone eats like a bird, it means they eat very little food. But looking at these options is making me want to eat more.
Oh, look at the dessert menu. I always save room for dessert, but I might have to pass this time. I'm watching what I eat.
Watching what you eat, is that about being careful with food choices?
Exactly. Watching what you eat means being mindful of your food choices, usually for health or dietary reasons, though sometimes I throw caution to the wind and treat myself.
Throw caution to the wind? That sounds interesting.
It means to stop being careful and do something, regardless of the risks or consequences. Like when you order dessert, even though you're already full.
These menu descriptions are making my stomach growl. I'm getting antsy to order.
Antsy. That's a good word. What do you mean by that?
When you're antsy, it means you're restless or impatient about something. In this case, I'm eager to order and start eating.
Well, we shouldn't bite off more than we can chew with our order.
Bite off more than we can chew? Is that about ordering too much food?
Actually, it can be used that way, but it generally means taking on more than you can handle. In terms of food, it literally means ordering more than you can eat.
This place seems popular. It must be the talk of the town.
Talk of the town. Could you explain that phrase?
When something is the talk of the town, it means it's what everyone is discussing or raving about. In this case, it means the restaurant is very popular and everyone's talking about it.
Yes, we definitely need to get our order in before they're run off their feet.
Run off their feet? What does that mean?
When people are run off their feet, it means they're extremely busy, usually running around trying to serve or help everyone. It's often used to describe busy restaurant staff.
Well, before we order, I need to know, are you a spice wimp like me? Or can you handle heat?
Spice wimp. That's a funny term. Is that someone who can't handle spicy food?
Exactly. A spice wimp is someone who can't tolerate spicy food very well. I definitely fall into that category.
Well, I'm actually quite the opposite. I can handle spicy food like a champ.
Like a champ. That's an interesting expression.
Oh, yes. When you say someone does something like a champ, it means they do it very well or handle it excellently. I've built up my spice tolerance over the years.
Speaking of spicy food, my friend tried the hot wings here and said they're not for the faint of heart.
Not for the faint of heart. Could you explain what that means?
It means something is very challenging or intense, and not everyone can handle it. In this case, it means the wings are extremely spicy.
I see they have a section of house specialties. Those must be their bread and butter dishes.
Bread and butter? What does that have to do with specialties?
When you refer to something as someone's bread and butter, it means it's their main source of income or their specialty. For restaurants, it's usually their most popular or signature dishes.
You know what? Everything on this menu sounds good enough to lick your plate clean.
Lick your plate clean. That's a vivid expression. What exactly does it mean?
It means the food is so delicious that you want to eat every last bit of it, not leaving anything on the plate. Of course, we wouldn't actually lick the plate. It's just a saying.
I love how some of these dishes are real crowd pleasers.
Crowd pleasers? Is that like something everyone likes?
Exactly. A crowd pleaser is something that most people enjoy. In terms of food, it's a dish that's generally popular with everyone.
I noticed they have a section of dishes that are cooked to order. That means they're made from scratch, right?
Yes, made from scratch is a great cooking expression. Do you know what it means?
I think it means everything is made freshly without using any pre-made ingredients. Is that right?
Perfect explanation. And look, they even have a chef's table. That's where the cream of society usually dines.
Cream of society, is that similar to cream of the crop that you mentioned earlier?
Yes, similar concept. The cream of society refers to the upper class or most prestigious members of society. It's sometimes used to describe fancy or expensive restaurants.
These prices make me feel like I'll have to break the bank.
Break the bank. That's related to money, right? Could you explain it?
When something breaks the bank, it means it's so expensive that it will use up all your money. It's similar to costs an arm and a leg.
Look at this seafood dish. It comes with all the bells and whistles.
All the bells and whistles? What does that mean?
When something comes with all the bells and whistles, it means it includes all the extra features or additions. In food, it might mean all the possible toppings or side dishes are included.
I usually take food recommendations with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt. That's an interesting phrase. What does it mean?
It means to not take something too seriously or to be a bit skeptical about it. For example, when someone recommends a restaurant, I don't always fully trust their opinion because food preferences are so personal.
That's wise. You know, some of these fusion dishes seem like they're the best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds? Could you explain that?
When something is the best of both worlds, it combines the good aspects of two different things. In fusion cuisine, it means taking the best elements of two different types of cooking.
I see there's a note here saying they can prepare meals according to dietary restrictions. That's music to my ears.
Music to my ears. What a lovely expression. What does it mean?
When something is music to your ears, it means it's exactly what you wanted to hear. It's very good news.
Oh, look, they also have a section of small plates. Perfect for when you want to eat your heart out without getting too full.
Eat your heart out? That sounds intense. What does it mean?
To eat your heart out means to eat as much as you want or to really enjoy eating something. It can also be used to express that something is so good, it might make others envious.
I noticed they have daily specials that are sold until they run out. I guess you have to be early to catch the worm, huh?
Early to catch the worm. That's not the full expression, is it? Could you share the complete phrase?
Right, the full expression is the early bird catches the worm, meaning if you want something good, you need to be there early or be one of the first.
These portion sizes look so generous. Definitely not chicken feed.
Chicken feed? What does that mean?
When you say something is chicken feed, it means it's a very small amount. So when I say these portions are not chicken feed, I mean they're quite substantial.
You know what? I might just go whole hog and order a feast.
Go whole hog. That's a colorful expression. What does it mean?
To go whole hog means to do something completely or thoroughly without holding back. In this case, it means I'm going to order a lot of food.
Just make sure you don't put all your eggs in one basket by ordering just one type of dish.
Put all your eggs in one basket? Could you explain that?
It means to risk everything on a single option instead of diversifying. In terms of ordering food, it means don't commit to just one dish. Maybe we should share several different ones.
Good idea. Though some of these dishes seem hard to swallow, price-wise.
Hard to swallow? That's an interesting phrase. What do you mean by that?
When something is hard to swallow, it means it's difficult to accept or believe. In this case, I'm talking about the high prices being difficult to accept.
Well, let's not cry over spilled milk. We're here to enjoy ourselves.
Cry over spilled milk? What does that mean?
The phrase "don't cry over spilled milk" means don't worry about things that have already happened and can't be changed. It's about not dwelling on things you can't control.
These dishes look so fancy. Definitely not my meat and potatoes kind of meal.
Meat and potatoes, is that about simple food?
Yes, when you say something is meat and potatoes, it means it's basic or fundamental. In terms of food, it refers to simple, traditional dishes without fancy ingredients or preparation.
Well, sometimes the proof is in the pudding. Simple food can be the best.
The proof is in the pudding? That's an odd saying.
It means that you can only judge something by trying it or seeing the final result. The full phrase is actually, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
I'm having such a hard time deciding. These choices are making me go bananas.
Go bananas. That's a fun expression. What does it mean?
When someone goes bananas, it means they're getting crazy or extremely excited about something. In this case, I'm overwhelmed by all the delicious options.
Oh, look, Sarah, I think I see our waiter heading this way. We should probably make our final picks. Have you narrowed down your choices?
Almost. I'm still on the fence about my main course.
On the fence? What does that mean?
To be on the fence means you can't decide between different options. I'm stuck between the grilled salmon and the mushroom risotto.
Well, you need to get off the fence pretty quickly. It's now or never.
Now or never. Could you explain that phrase?
It means we have to make a decision immediately because we won't have another chance. The waiter's coming, so we need to decide right away.
Okay, let's cut to the chase. I'll go with the salmon.
Cut to the chase. That's a good one. What does it mean?
To cut to the chase means to get to the point quickly without wasting time. Speaking of which, what are you going to order?
I'm going to take the plunge and try their spicy curry. It's supposed to be out of this world.
Take the plunge? Is that like taking a risk?
Exactly. To take the plunge means to finally do something you've been hesitating about. Oh, the waiter's almost here. Ready to place our orders?
Yes, I think we've got everything down pat now.
Down pat. One last expression before the waiter arrives.
When you have something down pat, it means you have it completely prepared or memorized. And yes, I definitely know what I want now.
Perfect timing. Here comes our waiter. What a great chat we've had about food while deciding our orders.
It sure has been. I've learned so many new food expressions and I'm starving. Let's order.